sentences, committed no crime and bad mistakes. I've made a few. I've had my share of sand kicked in my face, but I've come through. On and on and on, 'cause we are the champions, my friend, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. Oh, we are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. I've taken my bows by curtain call. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. Thank you all, but it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. I consider it a challenge before the whole human race, and I ain't gonna lose. On and on and on, 'cause we are the champions, my friend. Oh, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. Oh, we are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we're the champions of the world. The champions of the world. Hey, the champions of the world. Woo! The champions of the world. Oh, no, 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 no time for losers, 'cause we are the champions. Friday night and the lights are low. You're looking out for a place to go, where they play the right music, where they get in the swing, and you look for the king. Anybody could be that guy. Night is young and the music high. A little bit of jazz music. Oh, and you got in the mood for dance. And when you get a chance,
forget my son to include everyone. I'll tuck you in, warm within, keep you free from sin till the Sandman he comes. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light, enter night. Take my hand, we're off to Never, Neverland. Yeah. Something's wrong, shut the light. Heavy thoughts tonight, and they aren't Snow White. Dreams of war, dreams of lies, dreams of dragons, fires, and the things that will bite. Yeah. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light, enter night. Take my hand, we're off to Never, Neverland. Now I lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. Hush, little baby, don't say a word, and never mind that noise you heard. It's just a beast under your bed, in your closet, in your head. Exit light, enter night. Take my hand, we're off to Never, Never, Never. Exit light, come on. Enter night. Rain or sand, we're off to Never, Neverland.
Welcome to the Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Bechdel Cast. Please welcome to the stage the cast of the Bechdel Cast.
And it's you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Caitlin!
Wow, was that good?
Devon! Did anyone watch the movie?
Do you understand the
That's
reference?
a reference to the movie none of you fucking watched. God!
Hey, wait, Jamie,
I have rug burn.
sell me this pen. Not good enough.
No! No, I'll do it again! Dad, come on!
No.
Okay, so sell me this Barbie.
Oh, it's really nice. Do you
Not
wanna buy
good
it?
enough.
Oh no.
God, welcome to the Bechdel Cast. Give it up for yourselves. You're here. I'm Quaalude's Barbie.
Yes. Oh, okay. Wait, hang on. Costume
Wait
change.
a second.
Wait a minute.
That's not quite
That's
right.
not quite right. What's under this?
Show,
And then I
show
just take
us.
off all my clothes.
It's the late show. Wow! Look at him. Look at him. And thanks for coming, everybody.
Yay.
Was anyone at the Barbie show? Cool. Oh my gosh, yes, our friends in the back. Well, welcome. Thank you for coming to this very important dissertation on the Wolf of Wall Street
Yes.
at 9:30 on a Friday night. Feels good, feels right. I have my toes out like it's a wiki feet nightmare for me.
Gasp. Scandalous.
I know. Just kind of like letting loose, you know?
Well, that's what the Quaaludes will do to you. We're
That's
both on
the
so many
ludes.
ludes right now.
So get you loose.
Wow. Okay. Hello, my name is Caitlin Durante.
My name is Jamie Loftus, and this is our podcast where we talk about your favorite movies from an intersectional feminist lens. And tonight we're operating at a very high difficulty level. So enjoy whatever you're about to hear. Give it up if you listen to the show. Okay, wow, free applause. Okay, give it up if you've been dragged here and you're like, I don't know what's happening. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love when someone is confidently unaware of what's happening. That's beautiful. That's Lud's energy. Hell yeah. Well, that's you'll get the feel for it. We trust you. And tonight we were talking about The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes, we are. And
Well, I was thinking of how Issa Rae and Barbie says, "Oh, are you guys watching The Godfather?" And that was me in college when this movie came out to all 500 guys in the fucking filthy punk house I lived in being like, "Oh, are you all watching The Wolf of Wall Street?" And they were like, "No, we're playing The Last of Us and it's feminist, okay? Shut up." And I was like, "Okay,
wow.
whatever." I don't have PTSD about college at all.
Should we just get into our history? Jamie, what's your relationship with?
Well, I guess I just gave away some of it. This movie came out when I was in college. It was for a long time. It was my favorite Martin Scorsese movie, but it was because I had not yet seen Goodfellas, and so which this movie is kind of
the
slightly
same
worse Goodfellas. But yeah, I saw it, and I mean, there as far as our show, it does horribly. As far as a movie to watch, I really like it. This movie is fucking wild.
Yes.
It is like, it's so long, and so much happens. And sometimes something so horrible happens that it's like the water's so hot it's cold again. And you're like, I think I'm okay with this. Like, whatever is happening, it's so funny. It's so fucked up. Yeah, I mean, this is a not a comfort movie. It's viscerally upsetting to watch. But this is like a movie I've seen many times. I watched it like on DVD in college, and I'll come back to it every so often. And there's so many iconic moments, one of which we just attempted to reenact.
And we nailed it.
I think everyone knew exactly what was going on. No, they were like, no, they're going to do performance art. No, I didn't sign up for this. But no, I mean, it's a movie I really enjoy watching and have never been forced to discuss before. And so it's going to be an adventure. And the reason that we chose this movie to do the same night as Barbie, because we're doing two shows here, is because it's another movie where Margot Robbie wears pink. And there's no denying it. And I didn't know that this movie also the same cinematographer as Barbie. So this man has turned various lenses on Margot Robbie over the years. So Caitlin, what's your history with Wolf of Wall Street?
I had only seen it once before prepping for this episode. I think that I was like it's too long. I can't
All
watch
movies,
it. BRB, I have to watch Titanic instead, which is longer. So
It's true.
but I don't know. I mean,
It would have been cool if Wall Street sunk.
whoa.
Would have been Matthew McConaughey turns to the camera and is like, "I think you may get your headlines, Mr. Wall Street Journal." And then Wall Street sinks. That would have been fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. I saw it once and I was like, this is Goodfellas but longer. So I'll just keep watching Goodfellas, I guess, instead. No, I like the movie too. It's a 10 out of 10 on Caitlin's Rompometer.
We've been like watching it in our various hotel rooms and just like chuckling to ourselves and being like, "Hey, remember the part where he has too many alludes," which is every part. And then we just start laughing. This movie is like funnier than it has any right to be.
Yeah, yes. And a lot of that humor comes from very problematic sources.
Yes.
And we'll talk about them.
Yes. Wait. What? What if this is this is me finding out that not everything that happens in the Wolf of Wall Street is good? No.
What?
Nor the Wolf of Wall Street's my friend. That's Margot Robbie reading the script. Nor. He's such a bad wolf.
Well, anyway, should I do the recap?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's so. Okay, I'm gonna react as Margot Robbie reading me the script for the first time. Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
All
right, so here's the recap for The Wolf of Wall Street. I am going to gloss over some stuff and leave some stuff out because it is a 3-hour movie.
Yes, please don't come up to us after this. This is my favorite when we do live shows, or even when we get like emails after episodes come out where someone is like, "Hey, did you know that there was actually a 30-second scene that you didn't reference?" And I was like, "Thank you so much, Scott, I'm assuming." Yes, thank you. The show is free. Fuck off.
That said, we love all of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, please buy merch on your way out.
Also, I'm seeing a Josie and the Pussycats Best Movie Ever shirt.
Has seen Josie and the Pussycats, has not seen The Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay, so this movie is based on a true story about real life person Jordan Belfort. The year is 1987. I have been alive for 1 year.
Me, not so much.
Don't even exist.
Parentheses young.
So we meet Jordan Belfort, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. He is an uber rich stockbroker. He's 26 years old when we meet him.
And it's like he's like CW 26 years old.
Oh,
I love when someone looks in your face in camera and says I'm 26. I'm like, I'm looking at you. You look great, but you're not 26.
Okay, so he makes nearly $1 million a week at his money job.
Wait, $1 million a week? I bet his pee-pee's so big.
Wow.
That's like the subtext of every line of dialogue in this movie. Is like, by the way, my pee-pee, huge.
He's got it all. He's got a beautiful his wife.
She's like, that's me.
Her name is Naomi, and she is played by Margot Robbie.
The Wolfess of Wall Street.
They have 2 kids. They live on a huge estate. There's a bunch of cars and yachts and private jets and all of that. He also has addictions to drugs, especially Quaaludes. Ever heard of them?
Okay, I had not heard of them before I saw The Wolf of Wall Street.
Really?
No, I didn't know. I was very sheltered.
Wow.
The first time I saw someone smoke weed, I cried. And I was like old. I was like 16
last week.
it was today. I didn't know what lewds were, and then when I learned what lewds were, I just like loved to say it. Lewds are so. I was just reminding you, my dog. I used to have like all of this lewds lore attached to my dog. Where I was like, well, my dog is a millionaire. Here's what he does. He goes to Beverly Hills and he just digs in rich people's yards and gets their hidden lewds, and then he resells them on the black market. And the people he sells them to are the lewd dudes.
Wow.
Anyways, I think lewds is a fun word, but I don't want to take one.
Well, I don't think you can. They don't exist anymore.
Well, they didn't stop Leo from getting them.
It's true. But
Yeah.
that was like 30-ish years ago.
I'm like him. I could get them.
okay.
And then I would sink my boat. There is a boat that sinks in this movie.
That's foreshadowing of something we're gonna see a little later.
Interesting. Spoilers for Titanic and The Wolf of Wall Street.
Anyway, so he loves lewds, and that's one of his main personality traits. He also has 3 federal agencies after him. He's obsessed with money and gambling and alcohol and all this stuff.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights is looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that guy. I know his name is
Kyle Chandler?
2 first names. Don't love that.
Mm-mm.
Already I'm ill at ease. But it's like, yeah, I was like, oh, Friday Night Lewds. Love him.
Mm-hmm. So we flash back a few years prior, where we learn how Jordan got to this point. He's a starry-eyed 22-year-old. He's newly married, but not to Margot Robbie yet.
To Kristen Milioti.
Mhm.
Milioti?
I actually don't
Milioti?
know.
No
Does
one
anybody?
cares. Okay. All right, as long as no one cares. In this movie, if you're brunette, no one cares. Don't worry about it.
So he shows up on Wall Street in New York City, ever heard of it? And starts working for Mark Hanna, played by Matthew McConaughey.
2 first names.
Let me just say, the sheer panic I experienced when Matthew McConaughey shows up on screen, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot he was in this movie.
You
How
hate
much
him.
I hate him so much. I hate Matthew McConaughey so deeply, and I was like, is he in this whole movie? I hate it already. And
But
then luckily
he's only, it's like a glorified cameo. Although, 2 things. First, because I think if there was any Leonardo DiCaprio performance that deserved an Oscar, it was this one. It's so good. But Matthew McConaughey beat him this year for Dallas Buyers Club, which I've never seen. Also, this is my favorite flex in the entire world. For one single week, I knocked Matthew McConaughey off the New York Times bestsellers list. And the week after, he was back and I was gone. But for 1 week, and I did it for you.
Thank you I did
it
so
for
much.
you, babe. I did it for you.
I appreciate it. #by Raw Dog by Jamie Loftus.
But no, thank you.
I wonder, a really generous smattering of applause from 3 people.
I mean, all that to say is I am ambivalent towards Matthew McConaughey.
I don't know why I hate him so much. He irritates me so badly. Anyway, luckily he's not in the movie that much, but he is there long enough to tell Jordan how to make a shitload of money as a stockbroker, which is by jerking off.
Yes, that's literally number 1.
Yeah. Doing a lot of cocaine.
Yes.
And Jordan was like, I see your cocaine and I raise you lewds.
I like that. I think this is the right order where he's like jerk off a lot, do a lot of cocaine, and develop positive business relationships. And you're like, sure, in that order.
Except he doesn't even say that. He's just like, you're going to basically want to exploit your clients.
Well, that's their version of positive business relationships.
Yeah. So then for the next 6 months, Jordan learns the ropes. And then on his first day as a licensed broker, Black Monday happens, which I was only 1 year old, so I don't remember it.
But you were affected.
But I was
you were
affected.
boss baby. Like, no, my baby stalks. That's baby Margot Robbie.
From what I gather from the movie, because I did not bother to look it up, Black Monday was like a mini stock market crash.
Yeah, there is a whole mini series about it starring Don Cheadle.
Whoa.
It's a fact.
Okay.
Moving on.
Thank you. So the firm that he worked for at the time goes out of business, and then he gets another crappy job at a. Sorry, let me try that again. Then he gets another job. I'm on too many loots. Crappy job. Oh God. Okay. Then he gets another job at a crappy firm in Long Island that trades penny stocks, but he makes a 50% commission on these versus the 1% commission he made on Wall Street on the blue stocks.
So he's like, now I'm gonna scam poor people, and we're like, wow, this guy's awesome.
He's cool, and he's a very persuasive salesman. So he starts making quite a bit of money. And then one day he meets a guy named Donnie Azoff, played by Jonah Hill. He approaches Jordan because he notices Jordan's expensive car, and he's like, I will work for you and quit my job right now.
I love this whole performance as Jonah Hill leading with his veneers. And I know it is like a character thing because they mentioned that whoever this guy's based on had veneers because they're like his teeth were the same length. It was scary, but like the veneers are so distracting. I notice veneers.
It's the Jerry Bruckheimer.
It's the Jerry Bruckheimer effect. Or if it's like if you are on SNL for a third season, your mouth changes. It's like I noticed these things, and I just don't understand because it's like veneers are so. I'm assuming they're so expensive, right? But then it just looks like one continuous tooth. Like, why do they look like shit if they cost so much money? And then whenever you see someone with veneers, you just imagine because to get veneers. Have you ever seen a picture with someone without their veneers? It's little Banicula. It's really bad.
What? Wait, what is Banicula? What is that?
It's a series of YA novels about a rabbit that's a vampire. It's not the point. No. Okay, everyone's having a meltdown.
We've lost control.
Underneath, to get veneers, they shave your normal teeth down to little freaky points. And then they put your little doll teeth on.
What?
And then you're Jonah Hill in the movie. And then you have new, like, Pete Davidson mouth. Look at Pete Davidson's mouth 10 years ago. It's different. I'm here to tell you.
Okay.
Anyways, his veneers, wow.
They're prominent.
Shocking.
Yes. So anyway, Donnie Azoff starts working with Jordan, but he's weird and he has veneers and he married his cousin.
Which is true. That because this is like when you see based on a true story, you're like, chances are that's horseshit. I did like a cursory overview of like comparing fact and truth, and I mean like it's most of this movie is true. And weirdly, and this is like a criticism we have of the movie that we're going to talk about, but when Jordan Belfort saw this movie after personally profiting off of it because he got $1 million in his rights being bought, right? All this shit. So, but he saw it and he was like, oh yeah, and I was worse. and so, yeah, no, that guy did marry his first cousin.
Wow.
So now you know that.
Oops.
I don't think so. I think
he did it on purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah, true.
Oops.
Oops, I married my cousin.
Yeah, when you're at the end, when you're saying your vows, you can't just say I do. You say oops. I mean, that's any marriage, though.
Oh, true. All right, so they're buds now, and they open a firm together and hire some dudes. some lewd dudes.
Some nude dudes.
Mostly weed dealers, and they all become brokers. And then we see that the first scene where he's like, "Sell me a pen," and he's like, "Okay," and he does it, and we're like, "Wow!"
And we're like, "Wow." It's a metaphor for future moments in the movie.
So then his first wife, Teresa,
Brunette, she's done for.
She's Kristen Milioti is what we decided on.
We're not sure.
Maybe?
We're not sure. I love her. I think she's like an incredible character actor, and I until today have never had to say her last name out loud.
Yeah,
But
it's
she's
okay.
great.
Yes. So she has reservations about Jordan's job because he mostly sells these penny stocks to working and middle class people, and she would feel better if he sold them to rich people who can afford to lose money if those companies go under.
And she has, every woman in this movie has an incredible Long Island accent. But my favorite line from her specifically is when, right before Jordan, it's like Leonardo DiCaprio, goes to like the penny stocks. He's like, "I don't know, maybe I should just be a stock boy. I'm a loser." And then she's like, "You're not a stock boy. You're a stock broker." And then he's like, "You're right, my wife. I'm going to work at toilet, like you said." It's nice.
Yeah.
Love her.
And then he takes her advice and he reinvents the company. It's now called Stratton Oakmont, and they're going to target rich people but still sell crappy penny stocks.
Do we know why it's called Stratton Oakmont? Because it just sounds like something that sounds like a company.
I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't explain where the name comes from. Also, the mascot is a lion, and it's like the movie isn't called The Lion of Wall Street.
No. Good point, Caitlin.
Thank you so much. I'm so smart.
That's why they pay us the medium bucks.
Yeah. Please buy our merch. No, I'm kidding. All right, so Stratton Oakmont grows as a company, and before long, they are making many, many millions of dollars. And then Forbes does a profile on Jordan and the company, which is not flattering. They're like, he's the Wolf of Wall Street, even though it should be called the Lion of Wall Street. And he is like, "Oh, how dare they insult me like that?" But his appearance in Forbes like legitimizes the company.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, he's a true scammer. He's a newsworthy criminal.
Yeah.
We want to work for him." So then there's like a million guys that are like, "My pee-pee is big," at his door, and he's like, "Yes,
Yes."
great."
And then Jordan hires his dad, Max, played by Rob Reiner.
I love that sentence. You can't talk me out of loving that sentence. It's great.
He's giving a great performance.
Yes.
And his job is to be the accountant.
His job is to walk around and be like, "Jordan, don't do that.
What the fuck are you doing?"
I love that. They're just like paying Rob Reiner to almost have a heart attack in every scene.
It's true.
It's great. I think he is supposed to be like keeping track of the finances, some sort of, I don't know. I worked at the Massachusetts Comptroller's office for 3 years,
Brad?
and I don't know what they were doing over there, but it seems something like that.
Sure.
Something financial.
Yeah, he's like, I guess, monitoring the company's expenses, and what they're spending money on is very expensive dinners, parties, sex workers, drugs, especially Quaaludes, and the workplace is just like a complete circus. Men are screaming, they're breaking things,
Everyone's fucking each other.
Yes, they're treating little people and women like
And
objects and animals. There's a chimpanzee. I felt so bad for it. And yeah, the whole place is a mess. And then one day at a company party, Jordan meets Naomi. That's, again, Margot Robbie's character.
That's Margot Robbie's character.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
And she is so hot that Donnie takes out his penis and jerks off with it. in the middle of the party.
Yes, lewds were involved.
And then Jordan starts having an affair with Naomi. He takes her out to dinner, and then his wife, Teresa, finds out pretty quickly. So then Jordan files for divorce, and starts.
We don't see her anymore.
And
She's
she's
gone.
no longer in the movie.
Yes.
He starts living with Naomi pretty much immediately. They get married soon after. We also learn about all the very illegal things that Jordan is getting up to at Stratton Oakmont.
We sort of do. I do appreciate. I feel like this movie paved the way for. Oh gosh, what's the other money movie? The money movie where they're like looking and being like, money is so weird, right? What's that movie?
Oh, The Big Short?
Yeah. Yeah, that's every 5 seconds. They're like, money, what? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, then there's also that one that came out pretty recently called Dumb Money. And did I see it in theaters? I did.
You did? Are they always looking at the screen and being like, what the hell is up with money?
They are.
The whole genre of movie is just like white guys being like, money is so weird. In this movie, I mean, well, and I like The Big Short, but yeah, I feel like I appreciate, as someone with 3 brain cells, that the crimes, like, you sort of know what they are, but sometimes like they'll just break the fourth wall and be like, so what's happening is like bad. I'm like, that should happen in every movie.
No.
That would be so helpful for me. Like, I would really get through, like, I don't know. It really would have helped me get through Anatomy of a Fall if they just were like, whatever the French version for this is bad. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm not smart. I need you to tell me.
Yeah. He does that a lot. But the things that they're doing, I think, are like insider trading.
Yeah, they are.
And other things.
And it's like involving Steve Madden shoes. It's very
Yeah. Yes. Where am I in the notes? Okay. So but all of these shady dealings earns him enough money to like buy that estate and the yacht and all of that stuff. And then we cut to 18 months later. Jordan and Naomi have a baby, a boss baby, if you will.
A Greg.
Greg. She gets pregnant and has a Greg.
Yes.
And there's a scene where Naomi suspects him of cheating. She threatens to withhold sex. She puts her shoe on his head.
Right. And we know this scene, and it's a scene. It's a scene, and we love it. And that is the same cinematographer that framed all of Barbie. And and so the human experience is so complicated, you could say.
You know, he has range.
He does. And so does Margot Robbie in Love, huh?
So true. Okay, so the next big move for Stratton Oakmont is finding companies that they can take public, and they do that with Steve Madden. And they make.
Did you ever have? Is Steve Madden? I think I still see him at the mall. Is he still at the mall?
Yeah,
he's got those chunky shoes at the mall. That's nice.
He's expanded. Also, I bought a pair of Steve. Actually, well, you guys at the live show, you'll get this. Maybe I'll cut this out of the.
What are you about to say?
So a few months ago, I went to the mall, the Glendale Galleria,
I love that
famous mall, and I went into Steve Madden because I needed a pair of shoes.
And then what happened?
For a party.
And then
and I went to the salesperson and I said, I need a pair of shoes for a party. And she's like, how about these ones? How about these? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for like this kind of more specific thing. And she's like, well, what kind of party is it? And I was like, it's a sex party.
Oh, I know this, right? Yes.
And then she was so freaking cool. She didn't even care. She was like, oh, well,
people
how
come
about
to Steve Madden
ones?
about this all the time. It's kind of a Steve Madden regular thing.
She didn't even bat an eyelash. I was like so scandalized to tell her, and she was just like, oh, well, okay, what about those ones? And I was like,
I love that. I also love you, and that you told her what you were getting them for.
Yeah, because I did not need to say that at all. In fact, it was me flexing, be like, yeah, I'm going to a fuck party.
Meanwhile, I like at the same mall. I frequent the Crocs store, and
Yeah.
And if anyone ever was like, I was like, hey, I'm looking for something to walk in circles. Do you have a recommendation? And they're like, yeah, there's only one shoe here. Pick a fucking color. Get out of my face. Get a gibbet. Get a widget. Whatever the fuck. No,
Whoa.
I have Barbie Crocs over there.
Oh yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah, they're just dirty. Sorry. Anyways, shoes are.
Anyway,
you know,
I bought my sex party shoes, and she was not impressed. And
I mean, that's really cool on both of your parts.
Thank-
I think everyone's operating at a very high level.
thank you so much.
They're not
Thank
doing
you.
it like that over the Crocs store. I tell you that much.
What if they're like, what function do you need these Crocs for? And you're
Sex
like,
party.
a sex party.
I do have Crocs with heels, so I'm not saying it's impossible.
Whoa.
Yeah, I wore Croc platforms to a wedding, and I was the best man at the wedding. So
Wow.
this was a good tangent. I think.
I'm keeping it in the episode.
Where are your
I've
fuck
decided-
shoes now?
They're at my house, my home.
I don't know what answer I was expecting.
No, I brought them with me.
They got lost in the tangle. Is I think what I expected. I lost them fucking.
I did wear them to one of the sex parties I went to. Yeah, I've been to multiple. What?
What is going on with you?
I don't know.
I lost AirPods fucking once.
Oh.
Not
Wow.
because they were in. I don't know you anything. They're But that actually reminds me of a Leonardo DiCaprio story. Wait,
Oh.
does everyone know where I'm going with this? There's oh gosh, I'm gonna need an assist from the audience remembering, but there is a DiCaprio because this movie doesn't make sense in that I think that Kristen Milotti is over 25 years old, so of course he has to break up with her. It makes sense. Margot Robbie's 22 in this movie, of course he has to marry her. That's the DiCaprio way. He is a bit evil.
Yeah.
But there is some like weird folktale about him that he only fucks wearing headphones.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's like wearing headphones whilst fucking, listening to. I think like, is there like, it's what? Wait.
Someone from the
can't be
audience is
true.
saying he listens to his own movies.
Which ones? Is he like blasting the Aviator? Like, what is he? What? Wait, does anyone? I thought it was like scary industrial music or something. I thought it was like clang, clang, clang. Like, he's like, yeah, it's like me fucking.
What if I was
don't
like,
know. Wait,
when I go to these sex parties, I have headphones and I'm listening to the Bechdel Cast.
the horniest show in the world. Well, okay, wait, keep summarizing. I'm gonna just Google Leonardo DiCaprio headphones.
Okay, so there's a whole Steve Madden thing. They make a bunch of money off of it. That's how we got on this tangent.
Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the FBI has launched an investigation. Did you find something out?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this is from the Mirror, so grain of salt. Leonardo DiCaprio uses headphones and vapes during sex.
And what was the other thing?
Vapes during sex.
Okay.
Yes. Let's see. Oh God, like tabloid articles are so impossible. Although the Oscar-winning actor, 47, had appeared in other blockbuster movies such as What It's Eating Gilbert Grape and This Boy's Life as a Younger Teen, I'm like, I don't need to know how he became famous. What's in the headphones? What's in the headphones, folks? Okay, he's. Keep going.
Okay.
I'll provide live updates.
Okay. All right. So meanwhile, the FBI has launched an investigation of Jordan and the company.
Sorry,
Kyle-
update.
Okay.
MGMT.
Wow.
I feel tremendous relief just knowing the truth. Everyone was wrong. The answer was shitty early 2010s music. It was MGMT. He's listening to Time to Pretend while he's having sex. And, walk home with that. Really think about that. Wow. I don't know, why. I do feel like a weight has been lifted from me.
I mean, I'm glad that he doesn't listen to his monologues from Titanic, I guess. I don't know.
And I'm also glad that he doesn't listen to pipes clanking like I, for some reason, thought he did. MGMT, I'm like, oh, so he's a fucking loser. That's... No offense to MGMT. It's just like a weird thing to listen to while whatever.
Yeah,
whatever. They had hits.
Well, anyway. So the FBI has launched an investigation of the company. Kyle Chandler is leading it. Jordan meets with him to be like, tee, I'm not doing anything illegal, but Chandler, nope. Kyle Chandler is like,
Coach. Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
He's like, these Friday nights are about to light. You better be careful.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, Titanic. And then movie continues.
Then Jordan goes to Switzerland to hide some money in a Swiss bank account. He uses Naomi's British Aunt Emma.
Okay, she's awesome.
She's awesome, and she plays a character in, say it with me now, Paddington 2.
Who is she in Paddington 2? Does she also almost fuck her niece's husband?
No, but she is Phoenix Buchanan's agent.
Oh,
that,
yes,
of course, is the Hugh
that.
Grant character for all of the Paddington heads out there. Doesn't seem to be anyone here in the audience, but...
The Late Show loves Paddington.
Okay, so they move all this money into Swiss bank accounts. Then we get the famous Quaalude scene where Jordan and Donnie take some very rare, extra powerful 15-year-old Quaaludes. They're crawling around. Jordan's crashing his car into everything. They're worried about FBI has tapped their phones and Donnie's on the phone.
The phone.
Yeah.
It is so funny to me because it's I think that his performance is amazing. And then whenever his choice is, whenever he gets too high, he starts to sound like Cartman. He's like, the phone. He's like, I can't do a Cartman, but he sounds like Cartman.
Yeah. He's like, do you want cheesy poops too?
Okay, you do like Seth, right? I kind of forget. This is another DiCaprio being a fucking old creep thing, but there is a clip I've seen many times where Leonardo DiCaprio for some reason can summarize the entire first season of Euphoria on the red carpet, and everyone was like, "Wait, why does he know that?" And then they're like, "Because he dates 23-year-olds. He dates the target demographic for Euphoria."
Yes.
But he was like, yeah, Euphoria, I think when Rue was really going through it, and you're like, what the fuck is going on with him? Fucked up guy.
Yes, truly. All right, so to avoid going to jail, he's about to cut a deal with the SEC, which would require him to step down as head of his company, but then he's like, just kidding, bitch, I'm gonna stay.
I'm not. I like that speech. He's like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. You're like, okay,
and
great.
everyone's like, woohoo, we love our boss so much.
We love our boss and Ludes.
Whee!
The Lude dudes were wild for that. They loved it.
And this means that the feds start subpoenaing, is that a word? Jordan and his colleagues, but they're all very uncooperative. Jordan and Donnie go to Italy then on Jordan's yacht. But then they learn that Aunt Betty dies, a.k.a. that one character from Paddington 2. And the $20 million in the Swiss bank account that's under her name, that money is now kind of stuck there unless they get to Switzerland immediately. So they take the yacht through some treacherous seawater.
Yeah, iceberg coated.
I mean,
waters.
Hello.
We've got Leo in the water. Nothing goes well. And so things, to be expected.
Yes, exactly. The yacht capsizes. They almost die, and this is a wake up call for Jordan. He realizes he needs to kind of straighten out his life.
Yes, because he's begging Jonah Hill to get lewds from the yacht basement, and then Jonah Hill brings up. I really like this scene. Jonah Hill brings up this like Ziploc bag of wet lewds.
Mm-hmm.
It's brutal,
and he's just like mainlining them as they're crashing into the ocean.
Yeah.
So then he gets sober and he starts doing these like how to get rich seminars, but the FBI eventually gets him and busts him. There's this whole like Benihana thing that I didn't really understand. But everyone's basically ratting each other out. There's a scene where Naomi tells him that she's going to leave him and take their kids. There's a lot to unpack there. Yeah. But it all kind of culminates with Jordan ratting on his friends. He goes to jail for a few years in like a white collar resort prison, and then the movie ends.
He goes to tennis jail is what
Yeah.
I call it. Yeah.
Yes. And then the movie ends with a cameo from the real Jordan Belfort introducing Leonardo DiCaprio, Jordan Belfort, at a seminar in New Zealand where he's going to teach people how to sell pens or something.
And they're bad at it.
Yeah.
The
end.
Caitlin's famous recap.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Gosh. 3-hour movie.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I'm exhausted.
Gosh. So, where should we start?
Oh, my gosh. Well, okay. This is another one of Martin Scorsese, or as I like to call him, Marty Scores. One of his movies. It was. I thought it was hilarious when I wrote it down.
You wrote it down?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
He tends to make well, there's two movies in particular which we reference that it's about an kind of ordinary but ambitious guy from New York. He gets rich, he builds an empire, he does a bunch of drugs, he cheats on his wife, and then kind of loses everything because he's doing a bunch of illegal stuff, but he doesn't rot in jail because he's still rich, and then he also like rats out all of his friends. This is the same plot for Wolf of Wall Street and Goodfellas. Except that I don't think that the filmmaking and / the movie of Wolf of Wall Street is as critical of the horrible things that Jordan Belfort does in Wolf of Wall Street as they are of the horrible things that Henry Hill does in Goodfellas. Like, I think that Martin Scorsese generally does a pretty good job of being like, look how these men might seem really like cool and powerful at first because they have money and drugs and access to women and all the things that like men are conditioned to think make them cool and powerful and like good at being a man. But then as the story goes on, we learn that, oh, they're actually horrible people. They're greedy, they're misogynist, they're homophobic, they're racist, they're ableist, all this, the list goes on. And then after some combination of like male hubris and male fragility, we see their empire and their lives like completely crumble around them.
Right. But it doesn't even, I mean, I think like it's so frustrating because I feel like when we were talking about Goodfellas on the Matreon, do we have matrons in the, okay. When we were talking about Goodfellas 6 months or so ago, a lot of the points we were talking about had to do with the fact that like with Scorsese movies and with a lot of these movies that like feature these really like central toxic male characters, that sometimes they are very good movies that are making good commentary, but it's the audience takeaway and the fan culture that surrounds this movie that is genuinely doing its due diligence of making a point that it becomes this really complicated thing. And so we both really love Goodfellas and felt like we're like, well, there's a lot of fucking misogynist assholes who love Goodfellas because they didn't hear what we heard from it. And what it seems like, and like Scorsese has made points are the point of the movie, but I can't like we were talking like I can't quite get there for this movie. I don't see that same level of criticism or message, and it feels connected to the fact that Jordan Belfort is like involved in the production.
Right, because to me it feels like The Wolf of Wall Street basically shares the same like disrespect and contempt for women that the characters do. Because like the way the movie just generally treats women, it's like set dressing, they're naked all the time, they're giving blowjobs, there's the headless women of Hollywood cinematography is like the way we see
It's
women most of the
ridiculous.
time on screen. They're nagging, they're being withholding or conniving or spiteful.
Often without context. I mean, with Margot Robbie, like the most prominent woman we have in the movie, our Margot Robbie character, like we meet her when she's like giving roadhead. You don't even see her face. Like it's ridiculous. And then when you do see her, it's shot like a commercial. And I don't know. I would guess that the explanation that you would be given is like, well, we're seeing women like they do, but it's never meaningfully challenged. And it's not like, I feel like the thing I love about Goodfellas is that you do get insight, you do get into the women's heads in multiple points. You know how they're feeling, even when they're being treated like shit, which they were within the context of the movie and within the culture of the movie. Like you got a chance to understand how they were feeling, and you got like whole scenes where they were responding to their treatment, and it's just like you just don't. When you get it a little bit in this movie, but it's far less, and it just doesn't seem fair. And I also think like Casino is another kind of version of this narrative that I like better.
I don't remember it at all, so
Sharon
I can't
Stone,
speak to
incredible. Like,
but you're right. Like, there's a whole sequence in Goodfellas, and we're only talking about Goodfellas so much because of like the very obvious parallels between the two movies, and because again, like, there's a whole sequence in Goodfellas where the point of view completely shifts from Henry Hill to Karen Hill.
Yeah.
And we hear her voiceover, and we hear her thoughts and feelings on what like her husband is doing, and that same perspective of like the Naomi character is not afforded to her in Wolf of Wall Street at all. It just is mostly hypersexualizing her, hyper objectifying her. We don't know all that much about her and her interests and stuff like that.
There are scenes where she stands up for herself, and we know she's right. Like when she's accusing Jordan of cheating on her, we know she's right, and she knows she's right. Like she's not made to be so. Like I at least I can't even say appreciate, but like when she is upset with him, it's not like the movie is presenting her as unreasonable. Like we know that she's right. I
would counter argue that to say that in that scene, yes, she's calling him out. She's being like, "You're cheating on me," and
he is,
and she's absolutely right. But then he kind of like gets the upper hand on her because she's doing that thing where she's like saying that she's gonna withhold sex from him, and she's like, I'm gonna show you my puss all the time, but you can't touch it. I'm sorry I said all of that just now.
Yeah, just add the Y.
But there was
you don't have to say puss.
I couldn't think of any better way to phrase it. So she's like, here's my puss, but you don't touch it. And it seems like, wow, this is like she's like exercising autonomy and power over him. But then he's like, oh, you think you're so clever? Well, I actually have this hidden camera, and the two guys named Rocco, who are my security guys.
We've never met and never come back. Yeah.
They're actually watching you right now, and they can see your vulva. And she's like, oh no! And then it kind of like, the way the movie frames that, it's almost like you see the power dynamic shifting within that scene, and then I feel like because she gets humiliated, the movie almost frames that as like, and she was wrong to try to withhold sex from this awesome guy.
I disagree with that, but I also like, I don't know. I mean, I think that the reason we're having this disagreement is because we're not given enough to make a meaningful decision. I feel like what we're getting with her character is we're getting hypersexualization. We're getting, and then we're getting like small moments of clear domestic abuse. And that is like, and we're getting that verbally, like to me, that scene of like, you're actually being surveilled and she gets upset and leaves, like that's clear domestic abuse. And I don't know, like I feel like everyone's going to apply their own lens onto that. But there are moments where it's like she is trying to regain the upper hand and then she loses it because he has so much more than she does. And she's trapped there, and it's infuriating to see her be trapped there. And every time she tries to extract herself, he throws whatever he can at her to make her stay. And I wish that there was care taken in that story, because it feels very real. The movie's not very interested in it, because the movie to an extent needs you to stay invested in him being cool. But I don't know, I'm very like, I get really upset watching the scenes between them, because it does seem like, and I don't know, like I feel like these are like domestic violence depictions, and like emotional coercion. There's a scene towards the end where she is saying she doesn't want to have sex with him, and then he's being like, come on, and then they do. And
I think that's a rape scene that the movie doesn't
marital rape. It is
realize as a rape scene, though.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't think that I don't know what the movie thinks at a lot of points, and it's and that is like that's bad if you don't know how the movie's stance on marital rape. That's really bad. I think that like in Margot Robbie's performance, you can feel like that there is a lot of pain and frustration, and but that's not where the movie's interests lie, which is frustrating, because like we were saying, there are Scorsese movies about similar themes where that interest does exist. And so I was curious, I don't know, like I couldn't fully figure this out. My suspicion is that it has to do with Jordan Belfort, right? Because this was based on his memoir, also called The Wolf of Wall Street. And I know that like there are a lot of opinions on this movie that is like, this is like a takedown of the excesses of capitalism, all this shit. There's a lot of quotes from DiCaprio and Scorsese to this effect. But at the end of the day, Jordan Belfort made $1 million off of this movie existing. He's in the movie. He publicly likes the movie. And you're like, well, then probably the movie's not accomplishing what it should have if he loves it. On the other hand, the character Naomi is based on his ex-wife, Nadine, who also likes the movie. She has an interesting second act, if you're interested. She got remarried. She's been remarried happily for over 20 years. Amazing, good for her. But her name's Nadine Macaluso, and she is now a TikTok therapist? ? Which is like, wow, okay. But she has seen the movie and has commented on it extensively on her therapy TikTok. But she also did enjoy the movie. She said, quote, "My ex-husband exploited our life in the way he wanted to, and I'm using that engine to help people, to empower them and teach them, and to break the stigma of mental health." And that, I don't know, she like met with Margot Robbie when Margot Robbie was preparing for the part, felt like it was that the instances of domestic violence were shown authentically, but the movie's attention did not stay with it. And it's so frustrating, because it's like, that this director is capable of that, but he's not doing it here.
Damn.
Exactly.
Shoot. There is more for us to talk about, but we're running out of time, so you'll just have to listen to the episode when we release it, because we'll have done some pickups. But before we go, we have a little... Oh.
Well, wait, can we talk about Teresa really quick?
Sure.
I love her.
Truly justice for Teresa.
I love Teresa. I want the best for her. God, brunette wives are always getting divorced. It's just, it's not good. I felt like that was a more shrewd comment of like how horrible and like completely vapid Jordan was
For
and
sure.
is. He's still alive and he's into crypto now, to shocking no one. Although, wait, you know what's the wildest thing I learned about him when I was researching his life and times?
What's
I
that?
tried to listen to his audiobook and then I quickly wanted to run into the ocean, so I didn't get very far. But when he went to tennis jail, his tennis jail cellmate was Tommy Chong. And he and Tommy Chong are hanging out in tennis jail, and Tommy Chong is like, you should write a book about this. And that's why we have Wolf of Wall Street. It's all
Whoa.
Tommy Chong's fault. Isn't that weird?
Tommy.
Tommy.
Wow.
I don't know anything about it. Whatever. Anyways, that's why that is. But I don't know. I feel like it's very inherent to who Jordan is and to who Leonardo DiCaprio is to view women as status symbols, to the extent that this person who has stood by him through virtually everything, he is so willing to discard her for something that for someone who he views as a status symbol, and then he goes on to ruin her life because he is incapable of seeing women as people.
He also basically steals her idea to when he like reinvents the company to be like, I'm gonna target rich people and sell penny stocks to them. That was her idea.
She could have been involved. I mean, I guess I'm like, she should have been involved in his crimes. But
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
feminism.
She should have had the option. She should have girl bossed her way to hell as well. But yeah, I don't know. Just to like close the loop on Jordan, I guess like there's I think what the movie does well is that he is clearly this like portrait of like hyper masculine panic, where everything he does is like, please think about my gigantic pee-pee. Like, it's so clearly entrenched in insecurity and a need to prove himself, and he will hurt anyone, including himself. And I think that like the way that addiction is shown in this movie is often played for laughs. The lewd scenes, they are funny, and then also you're like, this guy is suffering, but he's like built himself up on this masculine platform where no one will say no to him. So I don't know. I just, the way that masculinity is shown in a lot of different insecure, like I feel like you don't get a lot in the way of anything but white men in this movie.
For sure.
There's no way around that. You do get, I think, the full gradient of white man insecurity. And you get a lot of different shades of gray in terms of like the way Jonah Hill is insecure about being married to his cousin is different than the way that Leonardo DiCaprio crashes or kidnaps his own daughter.
Yes.
They're like, it's just all, it's all very, very fucked up. But I don't know. You do get to see a lot of flavors of the worst man in the world.
It's true. I mean, and I think to the movie's credit, it does. It shows many examples of like, look how pathetic and embarrassing men can be. Like,
yes.
It like my favorite example of this is the first time he has sex with Naomi. She's kind of. First of all, he like goes to drop her off, and his voiceover is like, "How do I get invited into her apartment? Oh my god, I don't know." And then she's like, "Do you want to come up for some tea?" And then he's like, "Hot tea? Oh god!" And so then he goes up to her apartment, and then she comes out, and she's naked, and he's like, "As you can imagine, I fucked her brains out for 11 seconds," and it's just and there's no shame in that if that's when you come.
Caitlin's standing here in their Steve Madden shoes like,
I say that to all the people that I talk to at my sex parties, and I say, if you come after 11 seconds, that's okay. But I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, I know, but it's I think that, like, that's to me like what Martin Scorsese does better than almost any director is like show how embarrassing masculinity is to watch in practice. Like, he is great at embarrassing some of our greatest movie stars. Like, there's there's the whole thing, and we'll talk about this in pickups, but how, like, capitalism is a central cult and religion that this movie revolves around, and it's like made so embarrassing by like the Matthew McConaughey, like, and then like, Leonardo DiCaprio's like, you're just like, this is so gross,
so
embarrassing.
watch.
Like, and then like some of the most privileged, violent, cruel people in the world are also just like, you just like physically recoil watching them navigate the world. Like, they're fucking gross. And he's really good at showing that. But unfortunately, in this movie, I feel like it's just where I've seen it argued that women are objectified beyond reproach in some of his movies. That actually kind of does feel true for this one, and I can't get my boy Marty out of this one. Like, it's just really really bad for every woman in this movie.
Yes.
But more to come. It's getting late, so let's have some fun.
Let's do it. So, as you might have heard on various episodes, we first discovered it on our Inception episode.
Yeah, it was 4 years ago.
There's a tendency for, in Leonardo DiCaprio movies, he is in water and he's wearing all of his clothes.
Yes. And it's usually, things are not going well for him.
Things are not going well for him.
Except once in a while when it's like Romeo and Juliet, and things are going great.
Yeah. And it happens in this movie, which is why we're bringing it up. Although less screen time is dedicated to that concept in this movie than all of the other ones.
And yet a ship goes down.
A ship, yes.
And
so
his clothes are on.
I've taken, and they're on. I've taken it upon myself to edit a supercut of this. So Jamie has never seen this before.
No,
so Jamie, I think, can you sit in the audience?
Yes.
And then
I'm so excited. I've been like, Caitlin was like, "Do you want to watch it before?" I'm like, "No, I want to be surprised."
So yeah, if you can play the video.
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. C'est payé, balayé, oublié. Je me fous du passé. Avec mes souvenirs, j'ai allumé le feu. Mes chagrins, mes plaisirs, je n'ai plus besoin de balayer les amours avec leur trémolo, balayer pour toujours. Je repars à zéro. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Car ma vie, car mes joies, ça commence avec toi.
I thought love was only true saw her face. I'm a believer, and not a trace. A gal in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried.
Caitlin, take a bow. That was beautiful. Holy shit. Oh, if that man loves two things, it's being sopping wet in clothes and women who cannot legally rent a car. That is so wild. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Also beautifully edited.
Thank you.
Really, like I was
Thank
with,
you.
you're navigating 30 years of film history.
I do have a master's degree in
It's-
screenwriting, not editing, but wow,
There-
it turns out I have so many skills.
God. Well, not to be a bummer, but this movie I don't think passes the Bechdel test. I think there was like one thing where like Naomi and Aunt Emma talk for two lines where they're, but spiritually it's a waste of time.
In 3 hours, I think that women are only interacting for about 45 seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly, and it just further is just like, yeah, this movie has no interest in women, their inner lives, or the abuse they're being subjected to on screen for far more than 45 seconds. But what about the most important metric of all time, where this movie's gonna do awesome?
So good. You mean the nipple scale, where we rate the movie 0 to 5 nipples based on examining it through an intersectional feminist lens?
Wait, before we do, is the person that made us cootie catchers still here? Oh my gosh.
No.
At our last show, we had a fan that made us cootie catchers. Do you want to just play with me really quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
That sounds gross.
so I pick a color, right? I forget. It's been
Yes.
easily 30 years since I've done this.
Well, I'm 17, so this is really easy. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the one that says green parentheses baby boy. If
Green
anyone
baby
knows
boy.
that reference, green
Okay.
baby boy.
GREEN.
No, you have to do baby boy too. No, I'm kidding. Okay. I'm gonna do 5. And then I'm gonna do 7.
Who is your favorite character in Titanic?
Wow. It is. You were so upset by that.
Well, I'm always expecting like, shut up. Like I'm always expecting like an angry takedown in there. But that was a
Aw.
polite question. Who's your favorite
Yeah.
character in Titanic?
My favorite character in Titanic is Fabrizio.
Yeah.
Wow. What should I have said? No one reacted to
that's-
that.
We had a Fabrizio head. Mine's Cal.
I mean Billy
Yeah,
Zane.
I love
is-
Billy Zane.
Oh.
My favorite character is Billy Zane. I don't like Cal. I like Billy Zane as himself. Anyways, I would give this probably no nipples. I don't know. I don't know. What would you give it?
I would give this movie like 1 nipple for its examination of toxic male behavior and not being afraid to show the type of men that society like puts on a pedestal of like, oh my god, they're so successful, they're self-made, they're millionaires, look how cool, and they have all these cars and they have so much sex with women, aren't they so cool?
And wait, boat?
and
Not to mention boat.
not to mention boat, and who cares if the boat crashes because of
Just get more boats.
just more- right. So I appreciate that the movie is willing to be like, actually, people like that can be huge losers. However, as we've discussed, it kind of has no interest in how that toxic male behavior affects women. And that's usually who is victimized by that behavior the most. So it is curious why the movie wouldn't be more wouldn't examine it more, but also, as we've speculated, it's probably because Jordan Belfort kind of like seems like I don't know if he signed off on it, but they were like, do you want to be in the movie? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah. And he also, God, he's just like truly a scammer for as long as he lives, because he was saying, because in the movie it's like he owes all of these people, particularly from the penny stocks, he owes a lot of vulnerable people money. And so when his memoir started doing well, he's like, I'm going to give all of my royalties to the people I've wronged. Of course he did not do that.
No.
But like Jordan Belfort gave $12 to someone once, and meanwhile he's fucking chilling. So I'm
Yeah, so he sucks, and he's a loser. Wow, brave of me to say.
got his ass.
Got his ass.
Got his ass.
But yeah, the movie has no interest in women or how they feel about
or intersectionality.
at all.
Like, yes.
So yeah, I'm gonna go one nipple, and I'll give it to Teresa. Justice for Teresa.
You're not a stock boy, you're a stock broker.
Wow. Poetry.
And that was the beginning of the end. Yeah, I will go. I'll go one nipple as well. I think that this movie like does, to some extent, I don't know, it brings me back to conversations we've had about Goodfellas, as well as about, I think about our episode on The Social Network, where it's like, are we seeing this real life, like very, very wealthy person? And a lot of the movie, we're seeing them as like cool. And does the movie end well for fictional Mark Zuckerberg? Does the movie end well for fictional Jordan Belfort? No. But the takeaway from the majority of people is that it was cool to watch, including me when I'm watching it. Like, and it's like, I think there should be a feminist militia in the woods, and I am like, I like this movie. So it's like a little scary. Like, I don't know what to make of it. I had a really difficult time putting my thoughts together to talk about it in this context. I mean, in a basic way, it's obviously it's a movie that is very invested in the patriarchal capitalistic interests of very wealthy white men, and so that is mostly who we're seeing. We're seeing them abuse a tremendous amount of women, and we're seeing them from their perspective. So it is just like the camera and the story has basically no interest in women,
unless they're naked.
Unless they're naked.
I'm kidding. I'm not.
Okay, Steve Madden shoes. Easy.
Yeah. This is how I behave when I go to sex parties.
Clumping up.
I'm like,
just like a horny little devil. I'm walking. Meanwhile, I'm walking the streets at night in my Crocs, listening to audiobooks about the economy.
Wow.
I'm gonna give it one nipple. This movie does not do much in the way of anything we talk about, but it has its moments, and it is like trying to do some stuff, but it's just not doing as well as a lot of movies trying to do the same things are.
True.
Including a lot of Martin Scorsese's movies. So, give it one nipple, and I'm gonna give it to Margot Robbie.
Yay.
Yeah, I love her, and I was like, at very least, if this movie launched her career, then I'll take it.
True.
She's great.
It's true. Well, friends, that's our show, I think.
It
right?
simply is our show.
Wow.
Yeah. I think we did it.
Thank you for coming.
Gosh, thank you for coming. Feel free. We still have some merch if you want to grab some merch. If you want to take a picture, we'll be out there. And thank you so much for coming. Please give us loot.
Give it up for yourselves. Give it up for Stab.
Yes, thank
Get
you,
home
Stab.
safe.
Thank you, Jesse. Bye, guys.
All right, everybody, that is it for us for the evening. Thanks for coming out. If it's your first time, why not check us out on another night? You know, that'd be fun. We're live in person Thursdays through Sundays, and we stream everything we do 6 nights a week. Check out stabcomedytheater.com for our full calendar of events. Thanks for hanging out. See you back here tomorrow. Improv all day, 7, 8, 9. Short form, musical, long form, all sorts of good. Hope to see you then. Have a good night.
And he's the one who likes all our pretty songs, and he likes to sing along, and he likes to shoot his gun, but he knows